You'll probably have seen the dashcam footage of Metropolitan Police officers ramming into suspected moped thieves to knock them off their bikes, even during high-speed pursuits. The Met says they have specially trained drivers who aim to end pursuits before riders or members of the public are injured. They say there had been a 36% reduction in thefts involving mopeds or scooters since the tactics were adopted last year. But some, including the Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott, say they are extremely concerned by the tactics. Let's speak to the former Met Police Detective Inspector Peter Kirkham. Peter, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, it looks dangerous when you've got people getting knocked off a moped at high speed. That's got to be dangerous, Peter.
There's some danger involved, yes, but it's proportionate. And if they don't want to create the danger, there's a very simple answer. When the police indicate to them to stop, stop. It's simple. Beyond that, they create the dangerous situation that others then have to try and deal with. The risk to them, in my view, should be discounted. It certainly should be a very distant fourth. The first concern should be the safety of the public. The second concern should be the safety of any innocent passengers or pillions on the bike or in a car. Applies to vehicles as well. But if they're encouraging the drive-in, then that should be forgotten and go forth as well. The third concern should be the safety of the police officers involved, and a distant fourth, should be concerns for the person that's behind the wheel or be in control of the bike.
It's about proportionate force, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it proportionate to knock anybody, even if they are a criminal, into the air off a moped at high speed?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, how come?
Because the likely injury is minor. Yes, there may be more danger. There may be more serious injuries caused, but that's not the usual situation. What's the likely injury if they carry on careering down the street, up on the pavements, and mow down some old lady coming out of boots? She's going to be dead, isn't she? And there have been occasions like that.
We've spoken to one lawyer tonight, Peter, who says it's only a matter of time until one of these riders sues for compensation.
Let them try. The only problem with the situation at the moment is that the law is in the wrong place. Because of some case law in 2009, what is considered to be dangerous driving is measured by the standards of an ordinary careful, competent driver, and not by a careful, competent driver of the appropriate training and similar training and whatever. Prior to that, everyone had assumed that a police driver, it was careful and competent other police driver. So, not entitled to drive dangerously, but in context.
But
now it's Mrs. Miggins going down the supermarket. That doesn't mean just pursuit. That means every single police officer, ambulance driver, and fire appliance driver using blue lights and two-tones on a response call, not on a pursuit, but on a response call, is probably committing careless or maybe even dangerous driving. That's the way the law stands at the moment, and that is scandalous. The Federation have been trying to get it changed for 8 years, and nobody's listening. It failed its second reading again the other day because the Parliament ran out of time.
But Peter, the police tactics is to knock the suspects off their bikes even if they're not wearing a helmet.
Yep.
Now, somebody could die from that.
Yep. They chose to take the helmets off. They take them off and throw them away. They throw them at the police car. What are we going to do? Just let them ride away into the sunset with their machetes and with their stolen phones and with the handbags they've taken out of the smash and grab at the expensive goods store?
I guess not every thief is going to be, as you depicted, with a machete, Peter. It's all about gradation, this, isn't it? There could be a young man, and we're not condoning what he did, of course we're not, but there could be a young man, this could be a first crime. They might not have that machete-wielding persona about them at all. They might have stolen a moped.
Sadly, the police are not psychic. They can only go on the information they've got and make an assessment. It doesn't matter whether it's his first time or his 10th time. It doesn't matter what the crime is. If he's hurtling down the road, engaging the police in a pursuit, he's creating a major danger to the public. And we need to grow up as a society and put the pressure onto the bad guys and not onto the police. It has got beyond a joke. And that is why we've got here, Stephen. We got here because lily-livered senior police officers listened to the politicians and the snowflakes complaining, and they said, we won't pursue people on mopeds because they're always a bit dangerous, they might get hurt. Oh, we definitely won't if they've not got crash helmets on. And look what happened. We got a moped crime epidemic. The cat would have been easier to keep in the bag if we had had governors with backbone right at the start and we hadn't allowed this situation to exist. Now we've got to get the cat back in the bag, and that is going to take some pain, and let it be the riders and the drivers.
I'm really interested in your calls on this tonight. 08085 909 693. 08085 909 693. I guess the other dangerous territory around this, Peter, is that if members of the public see this now as a green light, that if they see a thief, that they ram them off the road. That if someone steals their car, that they chase them down the road and they think it's fair enough. Someone steals their motorbike, that members of the public adopt the same tactics.
The law is clear. It is not a new law. Nothing has changed in law. The law allows anybody, public or police, to use reasonable and necessary force in self-defence to prevent getting assaulted or prevent somebody else getting harmed. Or the relevant one in this case would normally be Section 3 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, which allows any person, not just police, to use reasonable and necessary force to prevent a crime or to detain a suspect. Now, obviously, you're not going to cause much damage to somebody in order to stop them scrumping an apple, but a more serious crime, you can justify causing them some dents and scrapes. If it's an armed robbery and you happen to be driving past as someone's pointing a sawn-off shotgun at a security guard, you'd be entitled to park your Vauxhall Astra on their heads. And if that killed them, so be it. Because if you do nothing...
Well, Peter, that's dangerous language, isn't it? That is really dangerous language.
It's not. It's what the law is. It's a proportionate use of force compared with what the situation is. So if you've got a really serious crime, you're entitled to use force that will cause somebody more damage for the simple reason that if you do nothing, the outcome is going to be more serious in the other direction.
You're actually advocating that members of the public do this too? Ram thieves on mopeds off them?
I wouldn't suggest that members of the public get involved in this, no, but I'm just saying that the law actually says that anybody, not just the police, can use reasonable and necessary force if they are making a lawful arrest, and that's a difficulty for the public because that's quite complicated, or if they're preventing crime. So if somebody drives home and sees somebody coming out of their driveway on their moped that's being stolen and they knock them off at low speed, that is going to be fine.
Peter, thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Really interesting conversation. I know you'll want to talk about that tonight. 08085 909